Hi, welcome back, folks. My name is Mac Jackson, and you're listening to Technology Review. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. Just look for Mac Jackson Jr., Mac Jackson Jr. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you think about our show and give some comments about our show as well. You're listening to Technology Review, and in this segment, we're talking about Business Spotlight. Yes. Why Business Spotlight? Because businesses are the number one source, folks, of cybercrimes and identity theft. That's where the information is. It's like the new bank because information is currency, and bad guys are looking to acquire this currency, acquiring this information to sell it underground in an area we call the dark net. In that area, hackers and criminals buy and sell information from victims, about victims that is, from other bad guys like baseball trading cards. You know, if you have a profile of someone, or half of a profile because you just basically have half information, well, it could be another bad guy with the other half. You put it together, now you have a whole profile of someone. That information is marketed and sold to someone who wants to have an identity of someone, to do nefarious activities like financial gains, or to buy real estate or money laundering. All the above, those criminal activities can be found in the underground, and their transactions are made with cryptocurrency, the exchange. So there's an anonymous money exchange going back and forth. That's why it's so important that we educate ourselves and be aware of the types of things that are going on in the underground and about our data. We need to keep our privacy, folks, but the best way to keep our privacy where we're not going to lose it is by educating ourselves on what it is. And this is what we're doing in this show. So if you are a business, there are certain guidelines that are ever more that are increasing as far as regulations and rules that businesses have to step up their security procedures and practices to protect customers' data. This data consists of employees that work within the corporation, the company itself, as well as all of its customers. That information needs to be harnessed, protected, and then destroyed, meaning you need to get rid of it once you have no need for it. And I mean personal identifiable information called PII, and personal health information. There are lots of HIPAA laws. You may have heard of HIPAA laws out there as well regarding health records and health information. Well, the same applies to personal. All this information is information that bad guys are looking to have and put together about an individual. So how this happens? Well, a lot of ways it happens, folks. You think of it, the large corporations, those are the ones that can pay for the large databases, the large file servers to protect information. The small companies really can't. So the hackers are going for the low-hanging fruit. And the low-hanging fruit are the small businesses. However, those small businesses contract and work within the large corporations. Hence, information or malware can be spread between a small company to a large corporation. So both entities, a small business as well as a large corporation, really need to understand their data and their customers' information, how to protect it. But notice on the news, we hear a lot about large corporations being hit. Recently, Equifax and other companies, from Walmart to Sears, it goes on and on and on, companies being hit. We don't hear much about the small business companies, folks, being hit by cyber attacks. Reasons why? Because 60% of small businesses, after they've had a cyber attack or data breach, they go out of business because of all the trials and tribulations they have to go through to get their company back in line or back online again, all the lawsuits and the reputation of the business. Larger corporations, they have deeper pockets. They can do more PR and promotions with their company after a data breach. So it's imperative, folks, if you're a small business out there, you need to listen to this show or research. If you're not listening to the show, research, find out more information you can about how to protect your business's data. And it's more than just saying, well, it's an IT issue, so let's have our IT department take a look at it. It's more than that, folks. It's an intercompany issue. It should be a part of your company business plan, of your policies and procedures. You need to have documented information of how to protect your data. For a quick example of this, BYOD. We speak a lot about that in our show because it's one of the easiest ways to hack into a company system. What I mean by BYOD, the policy is called BYOD because it stands for Bring Your Own Device. In other words, it's the human element. That is the weakest link within an organization, the human element. an employee, unbeknownst to them, it can be hacked or socially engineered and bring in their smartphone into work, and that information from the smartphone, the malware or ransomware, can be transferred from their smartphone to the server. You may ask, well, how does it get on the server? Get to the server? We have a great IT team. It spends millions of dollars on our server systems. How does this happen? Just a simple way. I'll tell you now, and hopefully a lot of you who are listening to this will say your company doesn't allow this activity, and that's great. That means you're taking a first step. But here's one of the ways: using your smartphone that you are plugging into your laptop or desktop at work in order to recharge your phone, because you're not plugging to outlet. You're thinking, well, my computer is just powering up my laptop, charging it. It's no big deal. It is, folks, because your smartphones are nothing more than a little computer, but a very powerful computer. It's a hard drive. If there's malware on your phone, it can be transferred to another device using the charging element of USB. In my next segment, we'll talk about ways and apps that you could protect your smart devices, but this is just an example that I've given you about the BYOD policy. What does that mean? Well, that means within your organization, you need a policy about should you allow your employees to have access to your company's hotspot or Wi-Fi. And if you do, it should be a dual band Wi-Fi. In other words, guests and employees will not have the same access to the company's Wi-Fi as the majority of the corporate IoT devices, again, which we'll talk about in segment 4, within the organization. It's all protected. There's a firewall that protects the two bands. So that's what I mean by a policy. And why is this important? Well, if your company was ever audited or ever had to produce information to show that you're doing your due diligence and protecting your data, you could be able to say, yes, we are showing our due diligence. Here's an example of it. We have a policy that talks about BYOD. And in this policy, it talks about how our employees understand about bringing their own devices into the organization. And it talks about how and why and your company has steps to take to protect data. So that's just one example. Others in the past would be policies on old equipment. Let's say you have old laptops in your organization. Again, you could say you're a small business. You have old laptops and computers you wish to get rid of. A lot of companies would donate this information, donate their hardware devices to a charity, but you need to make sure that that hard drive is scanned and it's clean, wiped. The best way is to take the hard drive out. You can take it to a computer store and have it done before you donate or sell it. Take the hard drive out and have that hard drive destroyed. But make sure you have documentation of that destruction of that drive, just in case, just in case there's a fallback that customers may say, hey, my data was stolen from a computer system on a laptop that you had within your organization. You want to be able to show that, no, it wasn't, because we've had all our data destroyed. Here's proof of it. It's a backup for yourself, a backup for your company or organization, that if something were to happen to your organization due to a data breach, you have backups to show that you have trained your employees. Just like the backups you have, the physical backups of your data in your company to mitigate ransomware and other data breaches from your organization. That's why it's very, very important, folks. And those are just some examples, but there's more. My recommendation to you is to have your employees trained. Contact my company, MJ Computer Concept, and have a cybersecurity awareness education workshop set up for your group. And my company, we will train your organizations in techniques, as we mentioned in this segment, on how to protect your customers' data. It can be simple, easy to do. We have an all-day event, and we can offer it here in Las Vegas and anywhere in the country. So definitely contact me at MJ Computer Concept. You can find me at info@macjacksonengineering.com. That's info@macjacksonengineering.com. So hopefully in this segment, folks, you got a few tips in understanding the importance that businesses should be involved in information and protecting their customers' information and their corporate privacy. And there's ways to do that. Again, our first line of defense is with knowledge and education. And we have that for you here at MJ Computer Concepts. So definitely contact me. Again, the phone number, if you'd like to call me, is at 702-868-0808. That's 702-868-0808. Or again, send me an email at info@macjacksonengineering.com. And if you like that, folks, in our next segment, we're going to get into apps that you should have on your smart devices to protect your company from identity theft and fraud. We'll be right back after these messages.